Well, the game tomorrow is more complicated, even because it's a great game against a great rival. Yes, of course, it's a complicated, a difficult game for us, of course, but we need to face this game with a lot of eagerness. We count on playing in front of our fans, so that has to show for something, and we have the chance to maybe hurt a great rival, like you said before, and it would, of course, be a great step ahead for us. The truth is, you've been playing great rivals, but every match has been very open. You could have won any of them. But is this is this what you would need? Be more clinical, maybe in front of goal. You saw that there was a very open game against Juventus, with Betis, against Real Madrid. So what do you see? How do you see the game at hand, and what do you think you need to get that, to take that step ahead? Well, it's going to be a different rival this time, because they like to have possession and dominate the ball and dominate the game, the play. So in that sense, the match is going to be a bit more complicated than normal. But whenever we've faced them, the games we've had so far, they've been very open in the sense of any team could have won it. We managed to compete against great rivals. We mustn't forget that. And tomorrow we have yet another chance to compete against a great rival tomorrow. And there are very important points at stake. And we will try to do everything we can with every weapon in our arsenal to try to hurt our rivals and try to keep the 3 points. Hi, Jose. You were saying that you need to be aware that your rival likes to keep possession many times. You have played against them many times when you used to play in the Premiership. So how do you face a game like that, knowing that it's going to be very difficult? Yes, we will know that we will have our moments during the game. And in those moments, we have to be ready, because they keep possession for a long time, of course, and sometimes it's difficult to find the right time to press them or to try to get the ball back, etc. But along the course of 90 minutes, you always have your moments. I had the chance to face them in many times, many occasions, and every game was different. But they are characterized for trying to keep possession as much as they can, try and dominate the match for as long as possible. But like I said before, I'm sure we are going to have our moments, and we are going to be able to be out in attack, and we will try to make the most of those moments. We know we have plenty of dynamite up front, and we will try to hurt them as much as possible and try to win the game.
Hola, buenas tardes, Ana Alonso de Televisión Española.
Having drawn against Betis in extra time, does it give you maybe that extra push, extra element of anger in order to face the game tomorrow? Well, we don't really think about the previous games, and yes, we do analyze what can be improved and the mistakes we made, etc. But this is going to be an entirely different game, and we can't really, keep thinking about what happened against Betis. Yes, we might think that 2 points flew away, but having European competition means that you don't really have time to reflect on the previous match. And so a few hours later, you have another game at hand, maybe even more important than the game before, and that's what it's all about. So we shouldn't really stop thinking too much about what could have been better, but what we can do better ahead of the next games. And against Man City, we need to be more than ever. We need to be concentrated and extra motivated and extra concentrated in try to go down to the very last detail. You said that they like to keep possession, but that your team might have or will have your moments. Does it make you be more, does it demand you to be more clinical in front of goal, that the rate of success in front of goal has to be, or the percentage has to be higher? Well, like I always say, when we play against a really good rival, it's more complicated to create a chance, but every time you have a chance, you have the possibility to score a goal, of course. But being capable of creating chances, getting them into trouble, making them suffer making them suffer would be a lot. But then being, or having this rate of success in front of goal depends on many factors. But like I said before, we will look for the way to harm their defense and try to prepare the game as best as we can to try to have numerous chances and, like you say, maybe capitalize on them. You said you played many times against them. How did it go? Yeah, they're really good. I can't remember really exactly what happened, but yeah, I think there were more defeats than victories. But I hope we can get a victory tomorrow. You played really high-level matches lately, but tomorrow could be the top game so far. How do you live it in the dressing room, and what it means for Villarreal? Well, this is the elite of football. And the last year, we used to dream about this. We did a few things well to get us here, in order to get us here, and we are enjoying it. And of course, we are competing, and we are delighted to have the chance to play every 2-3 games, matches that are of a really high level against really good rivals, and to see Villarreal playing European football, of course. You played the other day against Betis after that injury. How do you feel against such a demanding rival as this? How do you feel? Yeah, it's been very complicated weeks because of my injury. We had several problems in my adductor, this groin injury. But yes, I'm in the process of getting back to competitive rhythm and match fitness, etc., with training sessions during the week and all these games. And the fact that we are playing so many matches in a row could be beneficial for me, because that is going to help me reach my top form, hopefully very soon. And I hope I can, that the manager will be able to count on me as much as possible for the next few games. And at the end of the day, this is what I like to do the most, of course, to be on the pitch and be able to help my teammates on the pitch. Yes, last question for Jose. These kind of matches don't need an extra motivation from the coach. How is the dressing room feeling it? What's the degree of motivation inside the dressing room? Yeah, the scenery, the place, the rival, everything around this match. We don't really need to talk about it. We know how important it is. Every time we play this competition, motivation comes as standard. And of course, having the chance to manage those thoughts, and that extra motivation in some cases is important in order to play your game, our game, and to play the game the way we want to and the way we work on it and try to get the as best results as possible. What do you expect from tomorrow, from the place, the rival, or I don't know if it's going to be similar to the match against Juve. If you expect something similar, well, good afternoon. We expect a lot of difficulties, just like against Juve. A couple of weeks ago, we played at European champion, and we're going to play another today. And that should fill us with joy, really. You know, how good the rivals that Villarreal is facing are. That's the result of the really good work we did last season that brought us here, and we need to enjoy it and suffer it. We will enjoy the competition tomorrow and suffer because of our rival, of course. But we are eager to play. We have a lot of expectation. And there are important paths in order to grow and develop, and this is one of them. And this is what we need to do if we want to grow, and that's what we want. So we are going out there with all the excitement in front of our fans, and we hope and we expect to be up to speed, to play a good game tomorrow and maybe get a good result, because that's what we want. Correct me if I'm wrong. Talking about Guardiola, I think I've heard them before, that when you started, you looked at Guardiola and it was a bit of a reference for you, Guardiola. Maybe you even went to one of his training sessions. But in any case, can you please talk about the manager of Man City? Well, talking about Guardiola, well, everything has been said already. There's nothing left to be said about him, but obviously he's not one of the best, if not the best coach in the world. It's difficult to say who is the best, but needless to say, he's one of the best. But he's obviously a reference for me. Even from his first Barca team, he brought something different to football and improved football. And every coach, or in my case as a coach, I'm an admirer of him, because every time Barca used to play, we used to watch that because we wanted to see what Guardiola was going to do. Yes, he had extraordinary footballers, yes, but he had a very clear idea of what to do, and ended up in satisfaction for everyone, or every football lover who loved to watch that Barca play. And for all the players and all the professionals and all the coaches, of course, it was suffering, and meant suffering for everybody else, because that team did not let go for the 90 minutes. It submitted you permanently, and he still has that idea. Of course, he needs to adjust to the type of players that he has at a certain moment. But yes, his idea has kept going, of course, with different nuances. He's won loads of titles, he's had a long and very successful career, of course. My question was along this line. We've been playing for the last month, maybe playing against the best games: Real Madrid, Betis, Tottenham, Juventus, and we always needed a little something else. Where do you think the key is? Or if there is no key, do you need an extra bit of luck in front of goal and a little bit more inspiration? We know everything is very tight. All the games are very tight. What can make the difference? Well, the difference, what makes the difference is to be clinical, to be efficient in front of goal. You need to be efficient. Sorry, you can't have mistakes in defense, and you have to be you have to really know what to do in front of goal, right? So with some of the teams you've named now, we talk to them and we play against them in equal terms, but with some others, we'll still need to grow in order to see them face to face. With this kind of match, there were certain circumstances that were very particular, and every time they were against us. Very particular circumstances, some incidents, some little things happened that didn't let us get points. Like if you remember the game against Atletico Madrid, we weren't good enough in front of goal. We had some specific mistakes against Real Madrid. We got ahead, but then we conceded a goal at the beginning of the second half. Game against Betis, we let 2 points go at the last minute. Against Juventus, we lost our concentration for 10 minutes, and that's where and we lost, and we couldn't win the game. So we need to pay attention to every detail if we want to grow. And because if you play against rivals as good as this, you need to play your own game, and you need to play at your maximum level, all of us, in all the minutes, right? Maybe not the maximum level, because the maximum level is always to be reached, but you need an optimum level, you need a really good level, but you need to play at that level for 90 minutes. And that's what we're lacking. That continuity, that in concentration, in order to avoid mistakes at certain times, and mistakes that will be that the team will be punished for in front of rivals. This good, of course, but it's the month of October still. We have many new footballers. We are in a competition, well, in the best competition, best club competition in the world, the most demanding competition in the world, and that is going to help us grow. What I always say is I'm proud and I'm satisfied about what my team is doing, the results they're getting. Yes, we could have gotten better results sometimes, but we could have gotten worse results some other times. But we have been competing really well.
Buenas tardes, Mr. Natalia Ortega de Fox Mexico.
I wanted to ask you about the game tomorrow. You've played very important games so far, but are you going to prepare anything different to the games you have played before? Mentality, lineup, anything that you're going to do different? No, we're not going to. We're still going to play our football. It's talking about, we need to talk about nuances. Every match has different nuances at different stages of the match, right? We know that we are facing a team, in, like Jose said before, that keeping possession is fundamental for their game. But we're going to have to defend really well. And above all, we're going to need to show personality. Jose also mentioned that we need to control our motivation so that it's not too much, and we can make the right decisions in our game. So the sum of all these little small details might help us compete against Man City. It is complicated, but I do believe we can compete against them. And then if we are lucky, and of course, against a team like this, you really need that extra bit of luck. But it of course, is a factor in football. We might get a good result. That's our objective. That's our goal. And because if we thought we're going to lose, we wouldn't even come out to play, right? You were talking about the small details. Apart from all the potential of Man United, you want to know that they have Erling Haaland. He has scored for 11 games in a row. So we are going to make sacrifices to take care of that. Maybe it won't be a 12th game in a row, right? So we will wait and see and hope for that. So if I say that he is the best number 9 in the world, right now, I won't be saying anything that nobody has said before. So we are going to play against this kind of footballer, against this kind of match, against this kind of club. So this is what we want to do. And this is what we want to do. We rather play against them than be at home, right? And we want to be here and live this magnificent atmosphere, hear this this Champions League anthem, etc. Live a great night of Champions League football, but we need to play against the best, and that helps us grow. Like I said before, that we know what our potential is, to know how we can improve, and that's what the kind of excitement that we all need to have. And about Haaland, well, we will try for him to receive the ball as little as possible, but we also know that he's able to score by hardly touching the ball. The percentage of success when he touches the ball, it's very high. It's extremely high. So, like I said before, I hope the 12th game is the one that he won't be able to score, right? Well, getting the first win tomorrow at home would be a great push morally. And I think the fans will be crucial in that respect in these Champions League games, right? Yeah. What do you think I'm going to say? Well, of course, I think the question answered itself. We need to go out there and fight for it. Villarreal has played against City we played 3 times and we lost all 3 games. We hope we can win this time, and maybe we will be able to draw. But if we can go one higher and win the game tomorrow, that will be great. But we need to know that it's going to be very difficult. But we need to play our best game, our best football, and hope that they don't play their best game and the best football. And we need that extra bit of luck, and then that extra bit of being good in front of goal. So we trust in our footballers. My footballers trust themselves, they have faith in themselves, and that's the first step in order to win. Apparently, Rodri is not going to play tomorrow. We know he's one of the best players in the world in his position. Yes, I do believe Rodri is the best player in the world in his position. And of course, we wish him a total recovery and full recovery. Of course, after an injury like that, there is a process of readapting to the competition. But at the same time, it's a bit of a shame, because I'm sure he would have loved to play here. The Villarreal fans would have loved to see him on the pitch. It's a kid that got out of our academy, and he's admired and loved here. And like you said, it's a shame, right? So we wish him a full recovery as soon as possible of every injury and everything that happened to him. So yes, we know it's a process, and we hope to see him playing at his best very quickly and to keep as healthy as possible. Any other questions? As for the match and what it means to you, of course, everybody wants to beat City here, but we have to read it the other way around. City is coming here, and they know it's going to be a complicated game, and you might have a chance to prove the world that if we play against them and win, hey, you could show the world something. It's a game that people that can be won tomorrow. Villarreal is able to win this game, right? And I think it's important to see things the other way around. We mustn't get lost in thinking about certain things and we don't think about the reach of how important this game is. You need to respect any opinion in life. And I do believe, like in betting houses, our victory tomorrow will be paid generously. And City's victory would be paid very little, because everyone in the world of football expects City to win. Because Man City was European champion a couple of years ago. I don't know if they played 25 times in the Champions League, and we have participated 5 times. So we can't really compare both clubs. Having said that, what can happen in 90 minutes? Well, a lot of things can happen in 90 minutes, and that's what we need to aspire to. We need to try to win this game. Would I see losing against City like a disappointment? Not really, but I respect the club, of course. So out of respect, we are going to try to win the game tomorrow. Every time we start a game, we go out there to try to win, no matter who we play against. Because that winning mentality is as important against assumedly or against bigger rivals than to presumably smaller rivals, right? So it's very important to play with that winning mentality every match. How's Mikel Tatze? Is he fit enough for the first 11? Yes, we think so. We've been cautious with him because he came back from his national team feeling some sort of nuisance. He was replaced at halftime, playing with Georgia. So we were cautious with him. We didn't want him to suffer a more important injury that could have kept him aside for longer. He trained normally tomorrow. He trained normally yesterday. I don't think he's been. I don't think he's gotten. Hasn't felt any pain or anything, so he should be fit for contention tomorrow.